awakening of freedom that happened during the pandemics, the excessive lockdowns, the government overreach, waking up so many Canadians. A lot of Canadians are warming up to the freedom message, the freedom community. Recently, it feels like when things seems to come back to some sort of normalcy, people are sort of going back to sleep. They're not so adamant about standing for our rights and freedom. What do you think the most important issue that a party like Ontario Party is tackling on that the uniparties or the mainstream parties are sort of like sweeping under the rug?
Sure. So one major thing is education. So up until very recently, nobody was talking about the indoctrination that was going on in our school systems. That was something, when I say nobody, I mean none of the main parties. There's a few provincial parties now that are dealing with some of those issues. Not here in Ontario, other provinces, but none of the main parties in Ontario have been, have been addressing that issue. That's been a main plank of our party from day one. Another issue is immigration, and immigration is on everybody's mind right now. But I'm telling you, not even 8 or 9 months ago, everybody was happy with immigration. Nobody was talking about it. Everybody was saying, "Oh, it's great. We need more immigrants." And the fact is, as we know, the number of temporary foreign workers, the number of students, the number of every single class of immigrants has exploded. And again, that's not the fault of immigrants. That's the fault of our government. And what it's doing is it's pushing housing prices up. It's putting a strain on our economy. It's pushing wages down for workers. And so this is something that we've been talking about for a long time, particularly in the housing aspect of things. And now everybody seems to know that our immigration levels are unsustainable. So, it pays to be early. And obviously, you can't trust the people that got us into this issue to get us out of it. One criticism I have of the Ford government is, they actually could have done a lot to deal with immigration. We had, in terms of foreign students in Canada, we had an explosion. We had an explosion of foreign students that went up by 6 or 7 or 8 times. We're talking about foreign students going up from, let's say, like 150,000 a year up to like 900,000 foreign students. And, we're seeing small towns all across the country, have no apartments, and a lot of places don't even have places for the students, let alone other people, and there's been stories of students, literally going door to door knocking to see if anybody has a spare room to rent out to them. So the foreign student file has been mismanaged. And what people don't realize is that the province has control over education. They could tell the schools, the universities in Ontario, you can only accept X number of foreign students. You can't just accept an unlimited number, because up until the Trudeau government put caps on these things, basically there was no limit. Like, so if a school wanted to accept somebody, they could just accept them and get the visa for the student. And so the universities realized that foreign students, they obviously can charge them a lot more. So they were using these poor foreign students as a cash cow to up their revenue take, up their tuition take. So, this was something that's been going on under our nose. There's all kinds of fraud, of course, that's going on with some less reputable institutions where, they're basically degree mills, right? They, promise such and such a degree, but they're really, just want to get the tuition and sort of take advantage of these students. So there's all kinds of things going on in the immigration industry. The provincial government could have dealt with many of those things pertaining to students, and they didn't.